Hey everybody, welcome back to Lamson Family Farms. My name is Max, and today is Tuesday, May 14th. So this week, I am still working on fencing, still working on this tack room, and I'm also starting to get a lot of stuff done out in the garden. Okay, so what I'm going to be working on this afternoon is this countertop, just the plywood layer, and then I think if I've got time, I might start sanding the walls and get those ready to be painted. So I still have, let me flip you around so you can see. I still have some things over here on this wall, so I need to clean up this table space. But I did take all of our saddles out and got all our tack cleaned up on this wall. So this wall is ready to be sanded and painted. And so I can definitely get that done, as well as I could paint this wall. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week. So the countertop, I need to put a shim under the base cabinet, painting the walls. I still need to do the trim on this wall that I did. And if I get around to it, I'll do this last wall with the windows. Okay. So I feel like that went pretty well. Obviously I'm pretty dusty now. There's a lot of, dust on the wall, and actually not a lot of the paint chipped off, which is pretty good. But I did give the window a good dusting or sweeping. And so I've left that room and I'm just gonna let it sit. Just let the dust die down. I'll probably give it at least a few hours. I might just work on it again tomorrow. But I got that wall sanded. I got the plywood top put on the counter or cabinets, lower cabinets, and then I got the shim done underneath, and so I still need to do, the goats just heard me, I still just need to do a trim on the bottom of that. But the next time I go in there, I'll probably plan on trying to paint the two walls. I still need to putty the screw holes on the wall that I put up. But I could get some painting done next time, and then I'll need to start clearing my table away from the last wall to do. And so the side that I was sanding has that bigger window, so this corner of the barn, so the tack room makes one corner and the cows area makes the other corner, is a corner to an outside space that they had made into like a pickleball court, so they had put plywood up covering the windows. So while I don't want to take that plywood out because it's a nice windbreak, I was thinking, because I thought maybe I would just cover the window with plywood and just have that be a full wall for like saddles and things, which would be fine. But I was thinking, because that pickleball area, I eventually want to turn into stables, because I could fit 4 12 by 12 stalls there, and it already has a concrete pad. I did talk to someone. It's got like chain link fencing with larger beams, and I talked to someone. They said that wouldn't be sturdy enough for like pillars for a wall, but eventually I would really love to have that be a stable. Like, that's a very, very long-term goal, like, if ever. But I was thinking, if that ever does happen, I could knock out that window and make that a door, which would be perfect because you'd have your tack room right next to like your stall area. So I might just leave that for now. Like, yes, if I really wanted to, I could just board it off because I know that it's there. It will be just as easy to remove plywood afterwards. But even though it's not a window, I do think it makes it look a little bit bigger in there. So yeah, I'm glad I got that done today. I actually hadn't thought I was going to be working out here in the barn today, but it just got hotter outside than I thought it was going to. So I'm trying to find things in the afternoon to stay out of the sun. So now that I need to let that area sit, I need to decide what I want to do next. I have stalls that really need to be cleaned out. So I could work on that. I've got 4 more round bales that are too big to go in the cow area, so I have to like shave off the sides before I can roll it in there. So I could work on that. I've got some things just to kind of clean up here. I could go inside and I could start some more seeds, although I do feel like we're getting to the point now where when I start seeds, I'm like, why am I starting these inside? It's literally warm enough I could just do them outside and not have to pay to heat a room. So that's kind of where I am with that. Yeah, so I guess I just need to decide. As you can see, the goats heard me. Weaning is going pretty good. I've got them, they're all living with the adults now. So that's another project I need to do. I need to clean out the maternity ward stalls because I've got cows. Hyacinth is due in she's due in 10 days. So I need to get that cleaned out and ready for her calf. Ray is due in a week. I still don't think she's pregnant. So I could do that. But anyway, the goat weaning is going pretty good. They're all in there now. I've got the girls with the big girls. I've got all the little boys with Poe and Annie. Poe and Annie have left them alone. It's been going really good. And so in the morning, I take their lamb bar bucket and I just feed them in there. And so far, the adult goats have left me alone. And so it's worked out really well. And so I'm just giving them milk in the morning now. And then I will fully wean them by the end of the month. Hasn't been super stressful. Nobody has like got their rumens thrown off. They seem to be eating grain and the hay. They all still look chubby. It's going pretty well. And it's very nice not to have to go to the store to buy 12 gallons of milk every 3 to 4 days. So it's been a lot easier on my budget. So now I'm really only going through a gallon of store-bought milk a day, and then they're getting all of the goat's milk per day, which is like a gallon about between the 4 girls. Which I know is not a lot for the goats, but I'm not pushing them. They get some grain they get as much grain as they want to eat while I'm milking, and then I've only been giving them grain like this really about the first month after they kidded, just to rebound, because they were, they look skinny right afterwards. And so I've slowed down the grain, and so they're just on hay and a little bit of grain, and that's it. I only milk once a day, so I'm not pushing production with them. Okay, so I got a just very rough first coat on this. So it is looking very white in here, but you can see the 2 walls there. I didn't go back with the paintbrush, so it's just the roller. But I got the 2 coats, and then I also, let's see, you can see here, this is the cabinet, and so I just painted the sides of it white. And let me tip you down a little bit. So I just painted the countertop white. So yeah, coming along pretty good. I don't really love how white it looks in here, but once we get especially saddles up and tack, you're not really gonna notice how white it looks once you get the accessories and stuff. And so I don't know, I am really tempted to like just thrift shop a really cool rug in here and maybe put like, I don't know, some sort of different lighting or like a lamp or something, and just kind of spruce it up. But the base coat is just gonna be white. So yeah, come along. I'll probably come back in a little bit and get that second coat done. Today is Thursday morning. I just finished up with chores and got everybody set, got the milking done, got bottles done, fed the horses, let the poultry out. Right now I'm giving Hyacinth some grain, and then I'm gonna go put them out on their ties. I'm gonna put them out on ties today in the grass separately because Ray is in heat. So she's definitely not pregnant. You know, I didn't expect that she was, but she also doesn't generally show her heat cycles. But yesterday she was definitely in heat, definitely in standing heat. So I called my AI tech Bert and I said, she's in heat, you come over and, let's do a straw. And so he came over, he's really great. I have AI'd her to sext semen for just a standard jersey this time because I've done one mini straw on her and I did 2 mini straws on Ellie. Obviously I have no calves out of them and have lost a cow. So, but for Ray, last time we had to do we had to sync her cycle and then we did a straw and that didn't take. So I didn't want to waste another mini straw because they are about 10 times more expensive than just a standard jersey straw. So I'm hoping this takes. It's to a bull called Top Agent, who's A1A1, but the straw was only $24. So total it was $32 to get her AI'd yesterday. So I'm hoping it takes, and if it does take, it will actually work out really well for us because that would put her due February 22nd. Which would be right before our goat's kid next year. So I would have a cow, especially a standard, who is going to be in milk while I've got goat kids, which is great because I wouldn't have to be buying milk from the store. And Ray's mom was milking 10 gallons a day. So if Ray ends up being anywhere close to that, it will be enough to cover what I will have for next year. Because for goats next year, I think I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll only have 5, most likely 5 does kidding. Unless one of the kids from this year ends up being really big very quickly, which I don't think that will happen. I'll still only have 5 does to breed next year. So it will be Venus, Gaia, Gogo, Nora, and it will be Daffy's first year as she'll be a 2-year-old first freshener. And right now I'm only going through like 4 gallons of milk a day for the baby goats. So Ray will be enough to cover them. So that's very exciting, but because she is so hormonal and she's trying to mount Hyacinth, I don't want them loose together because Ray's not a huge standard cow, but I don't want her hurting Hyacinth, especially because Hyacinth is due to calf in 10 days. And today Hyacinth's bag is looking pretty big. She's definitely not strutted, but she's getting closer. And her pins are, I think that they're more dropped. They're certainly more dropped than the first 2 times she calved, but she's not really loose in the back end yet. So it's not going to happen today, but we're getting closer. So I don't want to stress her out. And so right now I'm just giving her a little bit of grain because now that she is getting close to calving, I'm probably going to start giving her grain maybe every day just to get her system used to having grain, because I'll give her grain on the milk stand. And I haven't really decided how much grain I'm going to be giving her this year. Last year she got between 2 to 4 scoops once to twice a day, depending on, how close to calving we were. But I'm gonna have them on alfalfa and grass this year, whereas last year she was mostly on hay, and the first year she did have pasture, but she did get supplemented with hay a lot. So I'm really trying to cut back on my feed bill. If I were to be graining her, she would go through about 100 pounds of grain in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So that's, roughly $25 to $40 every time I have to go buy grain for her. So I've got the pasture, I feel like I might as well use it. Anyway, so I'm just giving her a chance to finish up her grain, which she's looking at me, she's done. So I'm gonna go grab her and walk them outside, and then I'll show you what I've got going on in the garden. So here she is. I don't know if you can get a good look at her, but she is 41 inches at the top of the back. Generally you measure at the hook bone, so she's a little bit shorter than that. It's her permanent height. But you can see my hand kind of goes in here. So that's her pin bones, and they're pretty sunken. She's still got a little bit left, but she's not puffy in the back yet. And I don't know if you can see her udder, but she's filling up, but she's not taut. And the strutted part is when the teats get super full and kind of glistening. You're gonna have a calf probably 24 hours. All right, I know I'm coming. Let's go outside. I know, you're sweet. You're a good cow, Addison. Let's go. Good girl, let's go. I'm coming, Ray. Okay, so go get Ray. Okay. Here she is. Feeling a little saucy because you're hormonal, aren't you? Pull it together. See, she's so much taller than Addison. You're so tall. All right, let's go. Okay. Hi, Ansel. Hi, you're so cute. What you doing? You can see behind me, so this is the lobby of the barn. So there's the front door, and then that's the entrance to the tack room that I'm working on. And then that wall behind us is the wall I put up for the goat maternity ward. And then there's the main part of the barn. So yesterday I worked on getting this space cleaned up. Mostly because I had a lot of stuff sitting out here, including our saddles and stuff, and some stuff that needed to go to the dump, and haven't swept in a while. So I thought it would be a good day to get it cleaned up, because I'm going to move that table out of the tack room here soon into this space. But eventually this is where we're going to cross tie the horses, because then they'll just go outside. So they'll be right next to the tack room, be able to go outside. It's a good place to stand. You can open the door, they can see out. It's got a nice breeze. So anyway, got that done yesterday. I still need to do the second coat of paint in the tack room. I might do that today, I don't know. It's been kind of rainy, but it's not raining right now, and the weather is nice, so I might want to spend the day doing garden stuff. But I've got Hyacinth's fly mask, so we'll go give that to her. For some reason, out of the two cows, I think it's because she's so dark, the flies are just so much more attracted to her face than to Ray. Ray never gets flies on her face. She will get them on her body, like on her back, but she just doesn't get them on her face. But Hyacinth, oh my gosh, poor thing. So she's been wearing her fly mask. Hi, Onslow. So we'll go give that to her. So this area that I've got them out in, which is just across from the barn here, you can kind of see Ray over there, and I've got Hyacinth tied over here. I'm just not quite sure what to do with this space yet. We're thinking about fencing it in at some point and either doing berries, so like blueberries, maybe raspberries, or I don't know, I'm thinking maybe cut flowers over here just because we can fence it off. On the flip side though, so the old owners had a cabin here and had it as an Airbnb because I've got Hyacinth tied to the stand right now, but this is a power hookup and also a trailer septic tank. So theoretically we could rent it out and have people stay with their trailers, and they could bring their horses because it's right across from the barn, and then they could come do our trails, and it would be a good rental for us. But we're just not really sure yet what we want to do with it. I'm even thinking this year, if I don't put plants on it, I could just fence it in and put the goats out over here, because You can kind of see the cats over here. So the goats are in that side of the barn. So that big red door on the side, that's where the goats are. So I could just fence in a little alley and put them right in this field and it would be fine. Ray, what are you doing? Why are you standing funny? All right. And so I could have them out here. So I'm just not sure yet. It's not really going to become a chore until I finish the fence that I'm working on right now. And then I want to fence in a temporary area for the cows to be in, which honestly might include this space. I'm not quite sure yet. So we'll see. Anyway. Hi, do you want your mask? Miss Thing. Ray, why are you acting funny? Huh? What's going on with you? Why are you being weird? Are you stuck? Well, now you're going to be stuck. Onslow, you're fine. Hi, did you get stuck? Okay, could you not get stuck, please? I'll come check on you in a little bit. So, she should be less hormonal in a couple of days. But she's still in heat. Hey, pull it together, babe. We both love how she's got black, like the black on her front legs right now. She looks really pretty. So she's actually grazing right next to our little elderberry flowers, or elderberry starts, which came off this main tree last year, but I noticed this year the tree died. And so the starts are fine, but the big tree's dead. So I'm thinking about taking all these starts out of this space because I didn't want them here, but since it was already established, I figured, I'm not going to mess with it. But now that the big tree has died, I'm thinking about moving all these little ones because I could start a whole row of elderberries, maybe closer to the garden. I think would be a better fit. Okay, so this is one of the projects that I've been working on this week. So this is one of our little garden spaces. This is a fenced-in garden space that's in our backyard. And so I didn't use it last year, so obviously got pretty wild. But I've been working on kind of reclaiming it. So I've just started with doing the perimeter. And so I'm going to be doing a small bed all the way around, and then I'll start working on the middle. So I think I'm going to do it's about 2 feet wide. I didn't want to do this bed any wider because I want to be able to reach to the end. And so this will be a little walkway. And I'm going to do a bed all the way around. And then in the middle, I think I'll do rows. So it is actually, I know it looks very wild, but it is coming along really well. It only took me with just a shovel probably about 10 hours over the week. Like I would just come out for a couple hours at a time and dig it up. This soil is really nice because this used to be their garden space. I originally didn't think I would want this as a garden, but I got about 3 shovels worth into it and I was like, oh, I'm sold. This is such good soil. I have to keep this. So I think this year I'm going to focus on doing some veg, but also really starting the perennial herbs because I want to get those established. I think this would be a really cute herb garden. Really cute. And I could also do lavender all the way on the outside along the fence. And that way it would keep it just out of the deer like away from the deer all year, and I could do like cute little designs in here, and it would just be a good space to have it dedicated as an herb garden. So that's what I'm leaning towards. I've been putting in a lot of herb seeds, and so along the edge so far, and what I'm thinking is, especially for those perennials, I'll try to get at least a few plants started, and then I can take cuttings or clippings and start more later on. But at least I'll have a couple of each kind of variety of herb. So that's my idea. And I actually, because we do have a burn ban and I wasn't able to burn the pile of cuttings from the tree that fell down where I'm fencing, I've been hauling it up with the lawnmower, and these are all of those branches that I've cut up. So I've been reusing those. So that's this space. So this is going to be one of my gardens this year. But then I also have a row garden going. So I will go show you that. This is the other side. So when we moved in, we were like, really? They put a little bench here? I have since sat on it while I've been taking a break out gardening and have fallen in love with it because it does face the barn, which is really, really pretty to just sit here. So I'll show you what the view is. I'll tip you up a little bit. So there's the view from my bench. So we've got our two outbuildings on the sides. This is our commercial kitchen. And then you can see the barn in the background. And then to the left is our 14-acre cornfield. So in these two longer beds, and there's one down there, I have started some Flemish poppy seeds and some zinnia seeds. And the zinnia seeds are from the zinnias we had back at our Washington property. And I collected seeds the last year we were there, and I got a big half-gallon jar full. And so I've put them in here, and I'm really looking forward to having our own zinnias back. Okay, so this is the second garden space. So I am going to be trying my hand at row gardening, which I've never done before. So this is also a space that the old owners had a garden. So the soil is very good here. And in fact, last year they had, I think it was an alfalfa, I think it was a red clover. I don't think it was alfalfa cover crop on this. And I have had this silage tarp, which, yes, I know is upside down. But it still did the job. I didn't realize it was upside down until I think 2 days after we put it out here, and I wasn't going to redo it. So it's been laid on the ground here since I think we did it in February. So it's been 3 months. It's been a long time. But the silage tarp, and I've already cut a little bit of it off, is 50 by 100 feet. So it's a pretty large space. And you can see closer to the camera here. I wasn't even able to cover everything. So I have plenty of room to expand if I want to. I could go a bit more towards, so our driveway is just before the evergreen tree on the left. And then that's one of our alfalfa fields. Well, it's alfalfa fescue mix across the driveway. So I have plenty of room to expand if I want to. And the other part of it is there's a field here on the right, which is our other front field, and I can expand that way too later on. So I've been working on ripping up the silage tarp, and I have been ordering some landscape fabric. So what I think I'm going to do is this year, just to get things going, because I know it's already May, these are 4-foot wide landscape fabrics. I think I'm going to do 4 foot and then a 3-foot gap and then another 4-foot row of landscape fabric and just keep doing that. So my plan is to put some holes in the landscape fabric, and I'll do things like collards and kales and Brussels sprouts and all of those kinds of things, or like lettuce, that kind of stuff. But then in the 3-foot sections of just dirt, I think I'll do things like squashes. I might start some perennial flowers, cabbages, kind of the things that cover the ground, and I just won't worry about the weeds. Things like potatoes, and I might do like arugula or like mustard greens, or just, things that don't just come up as one individual plant. So that's my plan for this space. So I've been trying to work on this because the weather's getting nice. We're already towards the end of May now, middle of May. But time's going by pretty fast, so I want to start getting this garden going, because our first frost is, I think, 1st of September is our first official frost date. So I got to get going.